Hey guys, welcome back to Consistent Code. So today's problem is stack permutations. So basically what we need to do in this problem is let us understand by with the help of an example. So suppose you are given an array. You are given two arrays A and B, and you can use a stack to perform some stack operations, so that you need to convert the given array A into array B, and you need to tell if you can convert the array A into array B using the given stack. For example, in this case, suppose the first element is 1. So what you can do to we need the first element in B as 2. So what we can do, we can simply push this 1 in our stack. So we can just remove this 1 from here, and we can push this 1 in our stack like this. Now we come over to this element 2. Now what we can do here, now we want the first element in B as 2 only, so we can just take this element 2 and place it directly in a B. So we can just say that the first element in our B, we have got 2, and now we can remove this 2 from here. Now we move on to the next element, that is 3, and now the next element which we want is 1 in B. So what we can do, we can just pop our 1 from the stack, and we can directly place it in the second element of B here. So let's do this. So we can simply put our 1 here from by popping it from the stack, and 1 will be removed from the stack. Now we are left with 3. So what we can do, we can simply put this 3 in at third place of our array B. So we can see that we have successfully formed array B from array A using the stack. Hence this proves that we can convert A into B using the given stack. Now let's consider another example. Suppose let's consider this example 2. So what is this example saying? So this is the input, and this is our, let's consider this is array A, and let's say this is array B. So let me create the array. Suppose this is array A and this is array B. Initially both of them are having, array B will be empty initially, and array A should be having the elements which are given in the input. So let's fill this array with those elements. So array A is having 1, 2 and 3. So now let's do what we were doing in the previous example. So we will come to the first element in A, and we will see, do we require 1. So initially we want 3 in array B. So what we can do, we can simply push this 1 into the stack, right? So let's push this 1 into the stack. So 1 will be pushed into the stack, and it will be removed from array A. Now we move on to the next element, that is to element 2, and now we will ask B again, do you need 2? Then we will get no, we will say no, I need 3. So we will push this 2 also in the stack. So Now we can remove this 2 from array A, and we can push this into the stack, and it will be like this. Now we will move on to the next element, which is 3. Now we will again ask array B, do you need 3? Then array B will say yes, I need 3. So we can directly place this 3 to the first place, in the first place of array B. So let's remove 3 from here, and we will push this to the first place of D. Now the next thing which we want is 1 in array B. But can I get 1 from array A? No. Then my only option left would be to ask from stack. So stack can only give me 2. So the only possible thing I can get is 2 here and 1 here. And this is not what we want. Hence the answer will be 0 in this case. I hope you understood the examples. Now let's see the solution approach. As we have seen these two examples, you would have got the intuition. So initially we need to ask for every element of A. Suppose this is the ith element of A. Then for this ith element, we will first ask array B that does array B need this element. If it does, we will directly push it into B, or we will just place it in B. If it does not, we will push it into the stack and move on to the next element, right? And we will continue this process. So let's try coding this out. So initially, first we need a stack in S. So now we have a stack. So what we need to do now, we just need to for int I equals to 0 to I less than a dot size, we need to iterate over a, and I should be incremented, right? So here what we need to do, we need to ask if and let's place j at array B to ask for the elements. So we can just ask if a of I is equals to b of I. What we can do, we can simply say that continue to the next case, and not only continue, we need to increment j and I both. Now I will be incremented through this loop, so we will increment j and I will just say continue. Now what can be another case? Another case could be that now a of I is not equals to this b of I, right? Now else if what I can say, that ai is not equals to the stack, ai is not equals to bi. So in this case there can be two cases, like if stack is empty or stack is not empty. So first let us consider if not stack is not empty. In that case we need to ask that is the top element what we require. If top element is equals to b of j, and here also it will be j, in that case what we need to do, we will just push this element in a b, or I can say that j will be incremented, and I can say that we need to remove this element from a stack. Great. Now what if s is empty? If s is empty, then the only option which we are left with is we will increment our I, but we will just say that s dot push a of I, and that's it. So what should be happening now? Have we considered all the cases? that if AI is equals to bj, we are gonna simply move on to the next element. If it is not equal, then there can be two cases: if stack is empty or stack is not empty. So if stack is not empty, then we are checking if the top element of stack is what array B requires. If it is that, then we are simply saying that move on to the next element in array B because we taken that element. Now, but if stack was empty or if stack was not empty, suppose stack is not empty but the top element uh, let's see, like if the stack is not empty and but the top element is not equals to the element which we require, and also this element is not that, then obviously we're going to just push a of I into the stack. But what if stack is empty? If stack is empty, then also what we were gonna do, we were gonna push this. So actually in both of the cases we are just gonna push this, so we can just leave this like an else condition, right? So now when we are done with this loop, and so here we can see that while not s dot empty, here I can just see if s dot top is not equals to b of j, then I can simply say then it is not possible, that is here will return 0. Otherwise what we are going to do, we will simply say that increment j by 1 and remove this element, and after that we will return a 1. So let's see by compiling and running this code. So it's giving correct output in this case. Let's use example test cases. So it's giving wrong output here. Let's see what is the error. Suppose the first element was 2. So what would happen, that if AI is, so we will go to the else condition because AI is not equals to b of j. So in that case what we will do, we will check if the stack is not empty but a stack is empty. So we will simply push this 2 in our stack and we will move on to the next element. So we move on to this 4. Now we will check that is this 4 equals to 3, because 3 is the element which we require. So again 4 is not equals to 3, so we will go and check, is the stack not empty? Yes, stack is not empty, but is the top element equals to b of j? Then I can say that no, this is not true. So we will again push this 4 in our stack. So let me explain it with the visual diagram. Suppose I remove this part, so we can see the first element was 2, and also let me write the array b here. So this is expected b. So now we will just see the first element in a is 2. So what we are gonna do, since we want 3, we will simply push this 2 into the stack. So I will just remove this element from this array and I will just push this element into the stack. So let me show you this to you in the code also. So what we did, we just checked is the element equals to what we wanted, so that is not equal to that. So in that case, what we did, we simply went to the next condition and we checked is the stack empty. So is the stack not empty? So this became false. So we move on here and we simply push this in our AI. So now we have pushed this too. So we come here and after pushing, so I will be incremented. So we can simply move on to this next element, that is 4. So now this 4, we again ask this 4 that hey, are you equal to d of j? So we again get the answer that no, 4 is not equal to 3. So we will go to the next part of the code and we'll see if the stack is not empty and star top is equals to bj. So stack is not empty, but stack's top is 2, which is not equals to 3, which we require. So we will again push this 4 according to our code. Else part, we will again push this code in our stack. So I again am going to push this 4 into the stack. So here I just push this 4 into the stack again. Now we will move on to the next part, which is 1. So do we want 1? So no, we will again just push this 1 into the stack. So we just push it here. Now we will move on to our code and we will see that is AI equals to bi now. Then we will see that yes, AI is equals to our b of j, this part. So what we will do, we will simply do j plus plus. So what is our j? Our j is currently here at position 0. So what we will do, we will simply increment it to the next position, and that is we are considering that we have taken this b as 3. So let me mark it as 3 and let me erase this 3 because now we have taken this. So what happened now, we incremented j plus plus and then we continue to the next part. So in the next part, what happens, I is over, so this loop ends here. Now we will see while the stack is not empty. So what am I checking? Okay, so there is one mistake which we have done, that the input was 2431 and we took 2413, I think. So I think we will need to do this once again. So this time I will do it quickly. So let me just remove all this from here. So now let's start solving this problem once again. So initially what we are going to do, we are just going to check this first element according to our code. So what we are doing, we are just checking the first element, is that equals to b of j. So this is the first element. So is that equal to 3? I said no. So we will just go to the next else part and here we will check is the stack not empty. So our stack is now empty initially. So we'll just go to the next part and we'll just push this AI into the stack. So I'm just gonna remove this 2 from here and I'm just gonna push this into this stack, and then we move on to the next element, I plus plus. So this element becomes 4. Now I again ask that is this AI equals to b of j, then 4 is not equals to 3. So we will simply move on to the else part and we will again ask is the stack not empty. So stack is not empty. Now with second condition is the top of stack equals to b of j. So top of stack is basically 2, and is that equals to 3, then I get no. So I just go to the else part and I will just push this AI again into the stack. So I'm just gonna remove 4 from here and I'm just gonna push this 4 into the stack. Now I move on to the next element and I see this is 3 now. Sorry, yes, so it's 3 now. Now we will check, is AI equals to b of j? Then in this case, yes it is. So what we did, we will just increment j and continue, meaning that we just remove, or I mean just increment this j from here to the next element, meaning that we have got 3. So we can simply remove this 3 from here. That means we have got the value of 3 as the first element in a B. Now we will just go just continue. So now I will be 1, so I is here now. So we will again check this, is 1 equals to the j which we require. So we will get the answer as no, 1 is not equals to 4. So we will go to the else part. So we'll check, is the stack not empty? So our stack is definitely not empty. Now we will check, is the top of element equals to b of j? So b of j is 4 and the top of stack is also 4. So yes, it is equals. In that case, what we are doing, we are just incrementing j by 1 and we are popping that element. So we are just simply removing this 4 from here, and that means we have got 4 as a second element in our array B, and we are incrementing this j to the next position here, and thus j is now at the third position. So that's all which we did here, and we are gonna do this loop until it is not empty. Okay, but wait, sorry, what we did was this loop, right? So j plus plus and then pop. So we popped this 4 and we incremented our j to this one value. Now we will again check, is AI equals to b of j? So we will get the answer, oh yes it is. So we will just do a j plus plus again, and that means this j will be incremented to the next position, that is at this position, and this one will be stored in as a third place of our array, and this one will be removed from here. So that means this was present in our array only, and then we can continue to the next position. Now next position is basically the loop ends here, there's no next position. So we will just go here while the stack is not empty. So what are we gonna do? We will just see that if the top element is not equals to b of j, we are gonna return 0. So here the top element should be equals to b of j, because 2 and 2 are same. So this we should not return 0, and then we should do j plus plus and we should do a pop. So j should be come over here, and this should be removed, and then this s dot pop, that is this 2 should be removed. Now 2 is basically empty. So what does that mean? That means that we are returning 1 if j is greater equals to a dot size, then we are returning 1. Now if I compile and run this code and see why we are getting a 0, we should be getting 1. So what we can do, we can simply place this cout s dot top here to check what is the s dot top s dot top. So let's see. According to our stack, it should have been 2 is s dot top. Okay, I forgot this here. So 2 is s dot top. And what is p of j? See out p of j is p of j. So b of j is basically 1. So this is the problem which is happening. B of j is here at 1. Okay, now when we got 1, if we can just see out AI is AI, and then so 3 is AI initially, then we got 1 is PJ and see out Okay guys, so there was only one mistake that when AI was not equals to BJ and the stack was not empty and we were taking the element from the top of stack, then we were after that I was getting incremented. That is, suppose one was here, suppose this was one, and what we wanted was this 4, and we are having 4 here at the top. Then we are choosing this 4 from stack for our array B. We chose this 4 here from the stack, and after this what we were doing, we were not doing this I minus minus here. That is, we were incrementing j to the next position, that is here at 1. But after that, what was happening in this for loop, I was also getting incremented. So what was going on, that this I this one has not been chosen and this I was incremented to the next part. So uh, that's why this one was not being included. So we need to do I minus minus here also. That should fix the problem. Now when we run the code, we are getting this correct output. So now we should try submitting the code, and we have solved the problem successfully. So I hope you liked the explanation, and if you did so, then please like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow.